Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube, Diggy546? Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. All right, so the Giants have a huge game if they want to have any shot at doing anything productive this year. They have lost the most teams. They've lost the most games in the NFL since week 1, I guess, of 2017. It's been horrible. We got to start piling together some wins. It's been tough being a Giants fan because we just keep losing. Every time it seems like we build a strength, all of a sudden that strength turns into a weakness, and then our weakness turns into a strength, and it never gets balanced out. And for us to be competitive in this game and win this game, and for us to win games for the rest of the season, but especially this week, we need our weakness of this year and our strength of last year to become a strength again. That's all we need, cut and dry. But before I get into this game, into this preview, I want to have a quick word from our sponsor, BetQL. Want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? You need to download BetQL. Their best bets algorithm scans over 350,000 bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports with reason why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads to over-unders to player prop bets. Don't want to use the model? They've got you covered with sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing and line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. They've got team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and over-under with breaking news on lineups and injury status. Obviously, that helps with fantasy. And you can track how your past bets have done and where you rank on leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/Diggy to get started now. Enter code Diggy at checkout to get 25% of all of their subscriptions. All of this information can be found in the description, where you can also find their BetMGM offer that'll get you a free year of BetQL. If you live in an eligible state, you'll find free offers for your favorite sports books. I won't tell if you click that bell, but I will tell if you miss out on this opportunity with BetQL. BetQL's best bets algorithm actually went 13-2 on 5-star bets for week 1 NFL games between Thursday and Sunday. Don't miss out on your chance to beat your sportsbook by using all the BetQL offers. Now let's get straight to this. The Giants have their third game coming up. They've had 2 losses. First loss was a very convincing loss. They had a lot of missed opportunities that game. But if you look at the final score and you look at how the team played, they did not show up to play. They were not ready to play. They didn't come out with the right energy, and they pretty much got ran out of the building. Yes, we had our chances to make that game closer and to possibly win it, but I mean, there's no point in making excuses. They beat us pretty good. Week 2, we came out with a little more energy, but we were very undisciplined. Not what you expect out of a team with a head coach that says that all he preaches is discipline and fundamentals. This team is tackled poorly. The schemes look like they don't fit the players. It looks like a completely different team from last year, especially on defense. And that is the key to this game. Every time I come out with the key to the game and I talk about our strengths and what we should be able to do to beat that team, we're never able to do it. We never do it, and that strength all of a sudden turns into a weakness. So the key to this game is, again, turning that weakness into a strength. The Falcons do not have a very good defense. Yeah, they have a good players, they have a couple of good players, which I'll cover soon, but they do not have a very good defense. But on offense, they have a guy named Matt Ryan. He's been an MVP in this league. A lot of people are saying he's washed. Well, guess what? I'm here to tell you, Giants fans, even if Matt Ryan is washed, the guy is pretty much bottom of the league and how far down the field he attacks. So let's just say all he can do is dink and dunk, and he is washed, and he can only throw the ball 15 yards. Well, the Giants defense has consistently allowed quarterbacks to throw that ball 10 yards, 15, 12, 10, 5, 12. They've allowed these quarterbacks to dink and dunk their way down the field, and they really haven't. There's not been much resistance to it. So if Giants fans are expecting that this defense is going to get a break because they're playing against Matt Ryan, I think it's the exact opposite. Matt Ryan is the best quarterback that we've faced so far this season. To me, he's the best quarterback. Maybe it's arguable that Teddy Bridgewater is playing at a pretty hot level right now, but Matt Ryan is the best quarterback, most accomplished guy that we faced, and probably knows the most football, knows the most about coverages. He's seen every coverage in the book. The dude got drafted in 2009, 2008 or 2009, one of those two. But he has seen every coverage. So if you want to go into this building and play a soft cover two, where you have your safeties 20, 25 yards down the field and allow Matt Ryan to just pick your defense apart with Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley in that 10 to 15 yard range, Matt Ryan will have his best game of the season. He will go up and down the field with no issue. It's just that simple. If you play the same defense that you played the last 2 weeks, he will go up and down the field with no issue. The Giants have to take some risk. They have to change their philosophy. Joe Judge wants to be conservative. He wants to play not to lose. You have to play to win the game, and you have to get down and just start playing some press coverage. Even if you play press zone, play some press coverage, because you're giving guys entirely too much space. Your safeties are way too far down the field. If you give up a big play or two, it happens. It happens. But I would rather my defense give up a huge play and our offense, who has been the strength of this team, get back on the field and be able to set the tone than my defense give up a 18-yard drive or 18-play drive or 15-play drive, and all of a sudden now my offense has been off the field for 30 minutes and they have to go ahead and get back into a rhythm. So please get aggressive, send some blitzes, play some press coverage, because if we don't play press coverage, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, I think they have Russell Gage there. He may have gone to another team now, but they have a couple of great receivers there with Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts already, to me, is someone that you have to really game plan for. He is a 6'6" guy who's moving like a receiver out there. So we have got to switch up this coverage. We've got to be aggressive. On offense, we got to continue to do what we did. No mistakes from Daniel Jones. Offensive line has been blocking well. Now, we do have to worry about Grady Jarrett, and we've had a lot of injuries on the interior of the offensive line. Grady Jarrett is a guy who can have that big game, can have that game-changing play, and we have got to make sure that we limit that. Also have Dante Fowler. He's been pretty disappointing for them from what I've heard from Falcons fans, but he is a player who has been a force in this league before. Yes, he was playing beside Aaron Donald, and that could have been why he was so good at one point. But Dante Fowler is someone who I definitely take note of, because he has all the physical tools, and a couple of times where he has shown that he could be he could be a force to be reckoned with. So those guys are on the defensive line. We have to, ask for another good game from this offensive line. They've been good the first 2 weeks, but we need continued sustained play from this offensive line as far as the pass protection goes, especially when it comes to the interior with Grady Jarrett. As far as their secondary, I'll just go over their secondary. AJ Terrell seems like he's not going to play. I don't know if he ended up coming back or not, but I'm pretty sure this guy seems like he's not going to play. They have Eric Harris there, TJ Green, Jalen Hawkins. They're not very deep in the secondary. Fabian Moreau is there. He's a guy who's a slot corner he's been a solid guy. He used to be on Washington. He's a solid corner. To me, he's probably your best corner out of those top three corners. Deron Harmon at safety. I already mentioned Eric Harris. He's your other safety. I might have mentioned him at corner for some reason. But you got AJ Terrell and Fabian Moreau. And I'm pretty sure AJ Terrell isn't playing. So there is a lot to be had. Also, you got Deion Jones. Shout out to Deion Jones, LSU Tiger there. But you got Deion Jones down there. He's going to be a good coverage linebacker. If Evan Ingram plays this game and he's not on his P's and Q's, or if any of these guys aren't on their P's and Q's, Deion Jones will be right there to catch any deflected passes if they're in the air. You do not want to give these guys free points, because, again, I mentioned that Matt Ryan will probably be able to go up and down the field if we stay in that same defense. So we have got to not turn the football over, play good offense. This game could be a shootout, because I don't have faith that Patrick Graham is going to pivot and play a completely different defense. So this could possibly turn into a shootout, which we have to be able to, control the game. If we can get a ground game going with Saquon, If we can get that ground game going with DJ and Saquon, I think that'll pay dividends for us. To prevent this from turning into a shootout and to give that defense as much rest as possible, let's finally put together a ground game. Yes, we ran the ball well on paper because DJ has been running the ball all over the place. But let's be able to turn around and hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley, the guy who Giants fans used to call the best running back in the league. He's been injured here. He's been injured there. Coming off of his ACL. Yes, offensive line doesn't give him holes sometimes. But a guy who was touched by the hands of God, in the words of David Gettleman, and a guy who's been this special, who, has gone in the top 3 picks of the NFL draft, you got to make something happen after a while, man. Because right now he's playing for that Alvin Kamara type contract. And there's no way that you can justify paying him if at the end of the year he has a bunch of 50, 60-yard games. If this turns into a shootout and we can't run the ball, get Saquon Barkley involved. Get him involved in the passing game. Throw him some screens. Throw him whatever you have to throw him. But don't let this game go by and not let Saquon Barkley you have to let this dude impact the game. You don't take someone at number 2 and not let them impact the game. So don't let this game go by and not let Saquon Barkley impact it just because they're stopping the run, which I don't think they should be able to do. They do have Jonathan Bullard there. Again, they do have Grady Jarrett there. But I really believe that we should be able to run the ball finally against this team. If we can't get him involved in the passing game 100%, please. Also, take your one-on-one shots. When we get one-on-ones with Sterling Shepard, when we get one-on-ones with Kenny Golladay, take some one-on-one shots. This is the time to take the shots, Jason Garrett. This is the time to go down the field. This is the time to be aggressive, call a bunch of shot plays, especially early on in the game to try to set the tone. Because, again, as I've covered, there is a bunch of holes in the secondary, if you ask me. Richie Grant is a guy that I like coming out of the draft, but he's young. Got a bunch of young guys there, and of course, if AJ Terrell isn't able to go, it makes this secondary even worse, and I'm not even an AJ Terrell fan. So this game plan should be simple. Let's make sure that we do not make mistakes. We stop with the penalties. We stop with shooting ourselves in the foot. And I think this game could be won. Again, the last 2 wins, the last two games, what I said we need to do to win the game, we didn't do. If we can go into this Falcons game and not turn the ball over multiple times and play clean football with the penalties and not, do things that just kill drives not because we were inept, but because we're just beating ourselves, we should win this game. It could turn into a shootout, and at that point, it's anybody's game. But if our defense can step up just a little bit, if we can just get our defense to hold them under 20 points, I feel really good about this game because this is a defense that probably towards the bottom of the league. But who am I to talk about bad defenses because the Giants defense has given up over 50 points, almost 50 points in 2 games. Pretty much almost 60 points, I think. They're pretty much almost giving up 30 a game. So we've got to tighten that up. And as far as personnel goes, we have a lot of opportunities to attack that secondary. And once again, thank you to our sponsor, BetQL, the only app you will need to beat your sportsbook. Find their information along with the 25% off discount code in the description of this video. Also, check out the special BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL and other sportsbook sign-up offers and bonuses. You guys let me know what you're thinking about the Falcons. I really think that we should win this game. We're retiring Eli's jersey. Come on. Let's go ahead and win this game. Was worried about next week when it comes, but this is a game that the Giants need to go out and win, or else you're really looking at the season being over. People try to call the season over at 0-2. I've been someone that's been giving them grace because there's that extra game. But again, you guys let me know what you're thinking in this game. What are your predictions? And let's hope we can get this win. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.